Hi! Today I want to do another New Year's Eve makeup look, and it's going to be a black smoky eye that's hopefully going to be glittery because I'm going to use a pigment that I never used and I hope it's glittery enough. I don't know. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with my eyes because obviously it's black. I might have a bit of fallout. I have just a tiniest bit of concealer on my lids, just a tiny dot on each eye that I blended out with my fingers. And I'm going to use black gel liner as some kind of a base to intensify the black. I'm going to need a fluffy flat brush like this, basically a smudging brush. And this is the Revolution gel eyeliner, just a black eyeliner. You can use a black pencil or you can go straight into eyeshadow if you want. But if you go straight into eyeshadow, you might not have a black that's as intense as if you were using a cream base first. I'm just gonna dip my brush into the product, and I want to create... I'm not doing any more smoky liners this year, don't worry about that, because I feel like I've abused the smoky liner look, but I still want that extended cat eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the shadows and everything in kind of an angled shape. So it's going to be thinner in my inner corner and then thicker in my outer corner. So let me just start stamping that on my eye and you're going to see what I'm talking about. And you don't want to bring the gel liner too high up because we're going to need that space to blend with the eyeshadow. I do not have a huge lid space anyway. My brow is pretty close to my eye, so I really need to take advantage of all the lid space that I have, especially with such an intense smoky eye. So as you can see, this kind of acts like a wing liner, but it's not a wing liner. It kind of gives the same effect as a wing liner does. After I lay down the pigment, I'm going to just go a little bit upper with a very light hand. I want to create kind of a base for my blending. So I want a tiny grayish shadow here. I think that is enough for the gel base. As you can see, it kind of extends my eye and it has that cat eye shape that I'm looking for. I do need this space here to blend. If you apply the base too high up and then you come with the black eyeshadow and you're trying to blend, you're probably going to reach your brow. That's why I keep it a little bit lower. Then what I want to do is pick a nice small detail brush and pick up the same black gel liner, and I'm going to apply it on my waterline. I'm going to do the entire look, the upper and lower lash line, before I do my face. And I'm also going to underline my lashes. I'm going to be very careful about it, not to stab my eye with this brush. And also I'm going to line in between my lashes, so bringing the gel liner a little bit lower. I don't want to create a very thick lower lash line, but I want it to match and connect to the upper part. What is that? As usual, for my black eyeshadow, I'm going to go for the Juvia Lace Warrior 2 palette. And before, I want to show you how I have my Juvia's palettes organized, because I actually love it. There are my babies right on my desk here. Here I have a box with chargers and stuff like that because I just don't like seeing them. And here I have some candles. But those are my palettes. And my Warrior 2, which I was looking for. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna use this black. I'm gonna use Juvia's Place Small Buffer Brush. It's the 005. Just going to take this up and tap it over the gel liner. That's going to intensify and also set it into place, because this is a cream and it's going to crease if you just leave it like this. Ah, look at that. It's so matte and black. I'm actually going to bring the shadow just a tiny bit above the gel liner. Again, to kind of create a shadow there to help blend the black. I'm gonna take a smaller brush and pick up the same black. This is a Morphe M149. I'm going to use this brush to set my waterline as well as my lower lash line. just go over the gel liner. I'm gonna start blending, and I'm going to pick up this grayish shade here on a Morphe 506. And I already blended this side, so you can see I didn't went crazy high up with this one either. I'm going to start here because this is the sensitive area. I don't want to bring this part too high up. I'm just gently pressing down the pigment, and then I'm going along the black, placing this just tiniest bit above it. And after I lay down the pigment, I can start doing tiniest circular motions. You have to be very patient and careful with this. I'm really not applying a lot of pressure on the brush. I'm being very gentle. And I'm going to pick up the same shade, and this brush is pretty small, so I can use it on the lower lash line as well. Yeah, I think that's enough with this shade. I'm just going to go in with a transition shade, and I think that's going to be all for the blending part. Now I'm going to take the shade Kana, which is going to be my transition shade, and this is a Morphe 507, slightly pointier. And I'm just going to use this above everything that we applied. Again, being careful with the placement, but this is a pretty light shade, so you can't really go wrong with it. I'm just blending everything into my skin, doing little tiny circular motions, and here I'm just extending it. This brush allows me to create a very sharp tip, as you can see with the blend, and yeah, I love it for that. Doing little flicking motions with my brush to blend this. And I'm going to use it on the lower lash line as well. Next I want to apply this pigment by Makeup Addiction Cosmetics. It is called Silver Lights. It doesn't look that sparkly in the jar, but I do hope that it is. I'm going to apply it over the NYX Glitter Primer. I hate working with loose glitters, they are so messy. I'm going to take some of this primer on my flat brush. This is a Morphe M124 brush. Just going to apply a little bit of that. This is a little bit too much. Just going to apply the pigment in the center of my lid. So here's where I'm applying the glue as well. And take some of that on the same brush. The stickiness from the glue is going to help the pigment stick to the brush. And I'm stamping it. It's pretty reflective. It's not really sparkly. It's more like metallic shade. I'm going to try to fade this into the matte. I don't really like it in this combo. I feel like it brightens up everything. But I'm going to need the black again to blend the sides of this just a tiny bit. And just stamping it. It's going to create some kind of a halo eye. Okay, that really changed the whole look. But I really like how it looks in this combination. I'm gonna take the tiniest diamond bomb by Fenty and see how it layers on top of this. Just going to take it on my finger and just apply it in the center. Yep, love that. Just going to blend the sides a little bit. This is the brush that I used to apply the gray, but I don't have any additional product on it. Oh, how I love that. I'm applying some of that on the center of my lower lash line as well. I'm not even applying the glitter glue anymore. I'm just smudging whatever is left on the brush. I do want that Fenty on the lower lash line as well. Okay, absolutely love it. And again, I'm going to smudge the sides so it blends into the rest of the look. With such a heavy eye look, I would prefer the face to be a little bit lighter. I just like the contrast between a dewy, light complexion and a heavy eye look. So I'm going to apply the Makeup Forever Skin Tint, the Ultra HD Perfector. I'm just going to mix just a tiny bit of this into this one. This one is a little bit too light for me, it's the shade 2. Shaking them. And of course the majority is going to be this lighter one. Hey, I do not have much left of this. I really love skin tints in general. Tiny drop of this darker one. And I'm going to mix them on my hand. And let's see if I got the shade right. Why is this orange? Someone tell me? I'm thinking the darker one has a reddish undertone. I have no idea, it's the shade 11. I think we're going to work with this. I didn't mix it too well, whatever. It's very peachy though. Is this gonna be a fail? We're going to find out. I'm going to use my Real Techniques sponge and just bounce this in. This is definitely not my shade, but luckily skin tints in general can be pretty forgiving because they have such a light coverage that you can work around the shade a little bit. So yeah, that's not a total fail. And for concealer I'm going to use this Stay Naked one. Just going to apply a little bit of that, not too much, and I'm going to be careful not to mess up the eye look. I'm blending in the concealer with this Fenty concealer brush. Again, being very careful around the eyes not to mess up the eyeshadow. But if you do go over the eyeshadow a little bit, you can fix it afterwards. Just take your brush and smudge a little bit more eyeshadow there. I just need to set the concealer into place. I'm going to use my RCMA No Color Powder. I'm going to pick up my Real Techniques setter brush, pick some of that, and just lightly go over the concealer. And I'm going to extend the powder into my smile lines and just cover my entire pores area to blur them a little bit. And I think that's all the setting that I'm going to do today. I'm going to let the rest of my face just be dewy. I already contoured this side. I picked my NYX Highlight and Contour Pro Palette and pick up this cool tone shade here. And since I did not set my face, I need to be really careful with how I apply my contour so it doesn't look patchy, so it doesn't cling on the foundation. So I'm just going to do tapping motions instead of just swirling my brush around like I usually do. Honestly, I just don't know what blush to use today, because this is such a cool tone look. I'm thinking maybe pink, but I'm not sure. I'm going to contour under my nose to lift it up a little bit. And I think I'm going to use the brush hack. Yeah, I'm going to do that to contour my nose. And I'm going to do just a tiny line here to create the illusion of a pointier nose. And applying some of that on my forehead as well to make it look a little bit smaller. Because why not? I need that. And what I also want to do is contour my lips. I'm going to pick up a smaller brush and just contour them a little bit. But I'm just applying the contour in the center, not really around my entire mouth. I'm just gonna apply a tiny bit of the Cuor de Rosa shade of blush by Sigma, and I'm applying it above the contour. And for highlighter, I'm going to go with my e.l.f. baked highlighter in Moonlight Pearls. This is my favorite. I wanted a pretty white-ish highlighter for this look, so I feel like this is perfect. Just going to dust that on my cheekbones. chin, cupid's bow, and in between my brows and a tiny bit on my forehead. And I'm going to pick up a smaller brush to highlight the tip of my nose, because I contoured it. I don't want to ruin it by applying a big blob of highlighter in the center of my nose. I'm going to use the same one to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone. And I'm actually going to apply the diamond bomb on my face as well. It's a New Year's Eve look. We can be as glittery as we want to. I'm gonna do a neutral lip. I'm going to line my lips with this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. It's in the shade 602, Completely Sepia. I don't know. This is a very pinkish nude. And I'm going to finish everything off with this gloss by Sephora collection in the shade Lover. And basically this is the look all complete. I must say, I really love how it came out. I really hope you like it too. Very intense, very smoky. I have not done such a smoky look in a while. Would you wear something like this for New Year's Eve? I'm curious. If I was going to a big party, I would probably wear something like this. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!